Do. Oh. Good evening, Patriots. Welcome up. Yeah, welcome up.
Welcome up.
Welcome up. Welcome back to the show. It's Jack. I'm Dennis. Let's stand for a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mike, you want to lead us in prayer?
All right,
Bless
Luke 18:29-30. And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left house, or parent, or brethren, or wife, or children for the kingdom of God's sake, who shall not receive manifold more in this present time, and in the world to come, life everlasting. Okay, let's pray. Father, I thank you for those who do the work of this podcast, our military, first responders, leaders, missionaries, and evangelists that help this nation, whether they work among us here at home or thousands of miles away in another land. They have given up so much to do your will, and their rewards seem so few. We ask you to bless them and their efforts on behalf of this nation, to show us their needs so we can support them. Please give them your protection and guidance wherever they may be. Keep them in our mind and our hearts, and bless their efforts for your glory. We pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mike. So Jack and his family appreciates all the prayers last week with his dad in the hospital.
Thank you.
He's home now and resting and hopefully feeling better. Mr. Young, thank you for listening while you're in the hospital. We appreciate it. So Jack and I feel our new party, the new minor party called the Independent Constitutional Party, we're at the right time in history to achieve total success. There is so much chaos in these two political parties, they can't even agree amongst themselves. There's so much infighting every day within a Democratic Party and within the Republican Party. Why is that? They all have their own agendas and the way they see they want to move our country forward. But the only wrong thing is, they don't ask us. They don't ask the constituents anymore. What we say doesn't matter. That's all it comes down to. We're only pawns in their game.
Yeah.
That's all we are. Pawns in their game. Jack and I believe the game needs to be changed in favor of we, the constituents. It's us, you. That's all it is.
Right.
Yep. That's where the ICP comes into play. We will be those game changers. See, there's millions of us fed up with politics and want these tyrants removed.
70% of the country doesn't believe in whatever party they're in.
They will never add a constitutional amendment to take themselves out of office for term limits. We've been trying for years. If you think they're gonna, we're pretty naive, because it's not gonna happen. About just over a year ago, Jack and I started the United States Constitutional Group.
2 years ago now.
2 years ago? Oh yeah, we started. Yeah, we get on.
2 years ago.
2 years now, and knowing exactly where we wanted to take our group. We called the show "Meet at the Tavern," and
you know why? Tell them why.
I was gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
I didn't read ahead.
See, most people don't know that the Bill of Rights was drafted in a tavern. The tavern, over a few beers.
Right.
By our founding fathers. So we drink our drinks.
With the
Toast them.
Declaration of Independence glasses.
Yep. In very nice glasses. After that, we created our website called Fed Up With Politics. It's right there. After several months of talking and going over several statistics about politics, we decided to start. Talked about it a lot. About starting a new party, a new minor party. We wanted to use the two documents in our history were written for we the people. It wasn't written for politicians because they don't know it. It's written for we the people.
And the founding fathers spent a lot of time teaching themselves about government.
Yep.
Don't forget, in their time, the only governments there was monarchs. And you had a few ancient governments that tried republics and stuff like that, but that's where they got their information from. The Roman Empire, Pluto.
Yeah. So after several months of talking, we went back and forth, and we decided to start the Independent Constitutional Party. We officially launched it about a month ago, three to 4 weeks ago. So and we're starting to do really well, which I'm very proud of with that.
Yeah.
We're doing really well. The Declaration of Independence was written by our founders because they were being controlled by tyrants called the British Empire. They wanted to have total control on the American people. The U.S. Constitution was a set of rules on how to govern our country. So that's why we named our party after these two great documents, the Independent Constitutional Party. You can see where we're going here, folks? I hope so. We don't need to change the Constitution.
No.
What we are facing today is what our founders' generation faced with Great Britain. We not only have countries like Russia, China, North Korea, Iran trying to destroy us. We have politicians that work for us, called tyrants, destroying this great country from within. And are doing a pretty good job at it, both Republicans and Democrats. And per those two documents, those great documents, it's our duty to alter or change this government. We believe patriots rising up and having the same voice is the only way to achieve that change. Jack and I will not let these tyrants ruin our country anymore. Jack?
So I'm going to start getting into this with the failures of the two major parties. So I'm going to start with the first one because this group is a little right-leaning and we're working on getting some more Democrats here. Because it's not a liberal group, it's not a conservative group.
It's not a Republican group, it's not a Democrat.
It's a constitutional group. You need to understand the constitutions and its pitfalls and its understandings. And there's all kinds of literature that our founding fathers and framers wrote and explained. There's a spectacular institute called Hillsdale College. If you have any questions, they have all kinds of free online classes that teach you about the Federalist Papers and American greatness. So let's go to the first one, is with, because what I want to do is I want to talk about the Democrats, I want to talk about the Republicans, and then I want to talk about
today.
Huh?
I'm just going to talk about one Republican today.
And then I want to talk about us, the constituents, and what our problem is. So for all intents and purposes, there is no more Democratic Party, in my opinion. They're socialists working to become communist. Now here's the problem with having these people in office. They are supposed to take an oath, swear to God that they were going to uphold these documents that were written and founded on this country. The problem is they don't believe in it. They don't believe in our government, and they don't believe in those documents. So they shouldn't be in government. If you can't swear allegiance to it and uphold it, how are you in government? So, to talk about our constituents, the constituents in certain places like Vermont, how do you continually elect somebody like Bernie Sanders? He is a full-blown communist. I mean, he took his honeymoon in Moscow under Russian communist rule. That's where he went for, and he believes in their system. He believes if you're waiting a long time online for food, that's a good thing because things are being controlled. To all you young parents out there, thank God I'm not in this situation. Can you believe the United States has airdropping of baby formula? The United States today, with the leaders we have in office today, cannot feed the American infants.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah. Let that sink in there for a minute, folks. The United States, the most powerful country in the world, can't feed their infants. We're getting formula, baby formula, from other countries, Germany and all in Europe, coming and getting shipped here to the United States. How is this not outraged? I mean, your hair should be on fire that the United States is receiving product the way we deliver it to the world for our lifetime so far. Every country and every continent in the world depended on the United States to save them economically and from starvation. And here we are, these people, from the executive branch down to the representatives, cannot feed the infants of the United States of America.
Jeff,
They're,
can I interrupt?
yeah.
Every mother should be on the phone to their congressman telling them, if you don't fix this, me and my husband are voting you out.
Well, you know, that's exactly right. But, we have left them in there so long, and we are so far away from the Constitution. There are so few people in this country that know what the words of the Constitution are, and because it's broadly written, so you can have debate over it. And if you don't understand where they were coming from in that time frame, there's other documents to tell them what the argument was about, why it's like that. It is the constituents' job now to educate yourself. Do not depend on this country to feed your babies anymore. We need to get these. I mean, is this the ultimate in failure? They cannot feed your children, folks. Yet they still tax you trillions of dollars every year. And they're not feeding your infants, your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews. Get your hair on fire. You're going to tell me that this minor party shouldn't be in some kind of office right now? Blowing up every chamber there is in Washington, D.C.? They don't debate anymore, folks. They talk about what's going to benefit themselves, and they go like this, whoop, in one direction. There hasn't been a Democratic Party in what I was taught in school since the 90s. And President Kennedy's Democratic Party, if they were here today, they would be considered Republicans. Mm-hmm. Because that man, on his inaugural speech, said he was going to cut taxes. It's not what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country. You hear anybody that is a Democrat saying that you're going to do something for the government? No, the government's going to do everything for you, except feed your children and educate them. They'll indoctrinate them. They'll cover their face with masks. They'll let them get poisoned with different kinds of outbreaks. They won't protect them, but the agency that's supposed to will have a $1.7 trillion budget. So it's supposed to. Stop feeling ashamed of yourself that you're letting these people go in there, and start understanding what this government's supposed to be run like, not the way it's being run. There is no more Democratic Party anymore. The Democratic Party is now a socialist party, and they should not be. You want to know, if I was to do a quick rundown, you want to know what? There's one Democrat, Joe Manchin.
Yep.
That's it. This man is one guy against 100. Because let me tell you something, the Republicans,
They're spineless too.
can I go on to my Republicans now? Because it's just short, and I'll do. The Republicans, please ask yourself, what has a Republican done for you? All right? A majority of the people that watch this show and belong to this group enjoyed the leadership of Trump, Donald Trump, President Trump, when he was the 45th president. Please don't forget what the Republican Party did to Trump. Mitt Romney did a speech just before, in October, just before Election Day, on how terrible Trump is. The Bushes bashed him. Paul Wright. The Republicans had what the Democrats have right now. And they couldn't get the wall. They couldn't get health care. There was something else they couldn't get. There was 3 things they couldn't get with the majority. And trade deals with Canada and Mexico. They literally made Trump take money from a different budget to put it in there to give the Democrats, the socialists, another weapon to beat him up with. That he's taking funds from there and putting it into the war. Because the Republicans couldn't vote it in. They had the votes. But they wouldn't do it. Because Trump was sinking their world. Trump was sinking their world and raising our world. Because he understood the Constitution and what America stands on. Again, Trump made his bones in life. He made billions of dollars. You got leaders today that are supposed to do your work. Not one of them did a job in their life. We went over and did the four. We did the president, the vice president, the Senate majority, the Senate minority, the House leader, and the House minority. Out of those 6 people, there was one person that had a job outside of, it was Kevin McCarthy. He was the only one that had a job outside of politics. So these people are going to run your business and tell you how you're going to profit in life? They're going to make the best policies so that you succeed in life? Give me a break. They don't know what you're doing. They can't wipe their ass unless they take a poll. Is it good to wipe your ass this week, or should I be a shitty mess? What do you think? I don't know. Let's debate it. That's what they debate about.
They don't know how to debate.
Whatever's good for them. Don't forget what the Republicans did to the last president that was a Republican. This man got hamstringed with phony Russian fraud for 3 years. The Mueller report. They put a guy in charge of the Mueller report that couldn't remember what he wrote. They brought him out to testify and he went like this. Was I there? I don't know, Senator. I don't know, Representative. Are you kidding me? These people are supposed to be serious. Conducting the business of the most powerful country in the world. The most powerful country in history. And they do not know what time of the day they should hit the shitter or not because a poll didn't tell them. They know nothing about your life. John McCain, when he was debating, couldn't tell the American people how many homes he owned. This man worked for you, and he had so many houses. He couldn't tell you how many they were. Never mind what the grocery prices were. That man has no idea. Oh, we still go grocery shopping? That's what the Republicans have done for you. Please look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what has the Democratic Party done other than destroy the United States form of government? And what has the Republican? You want to know what the Republicans have done? They have conceded over and over and over again till now they are so far left that Kennedy is more conservative than the Republican Party was. You have to understand, just like Dennis said, the last thing the Republican Party did was a contract with America, and they didn't finish. They didn't pull it over the finish line and get term limits. You want to know why? Because it lost by one vote. A Republican vote. A Republican voted it down, and it got killed by one vote. A Republican.
Done with that?
I vented.
Vented. That was a good.
I was trying to keep calm, but then I just got upset.
Sean, do you have something?
Yeah, I got a bunch.
What do you got?
Margaret Young says, not American, so disgraceful. Cody Nalbach was, Republicans make me even more sick than Democrats. Trump is responsible for vaccine genocide. He's going to Gitmo. It's a promise. Trump is just a drug dealer.
Okay. Well, listen. Before the man was president of the United States, not that I'm pushing what he did or anything, he was a billionaire. Again, the old saying goes, if Trump's a loser, then what makes what makes the rest of us?
Who?
Yeah, right? Think about that for a minute.
So we're getting a lot of feedback on Facebook. We want to know how can we even consider it a third party because they've never had any successes. Well, we're not a third party, we're a minor party. And I've been going back and forth with Republicans, Democrats, a bunch of them.
Well, like we said, ask yourself what the Republican Party's done. If they're that super great, how is it that they're not in power every single year?
And the problem is not only our politicians, but our media and news agencies have been bought and paid by these people to tell the American people what to tell us. These politicians use the media to get to us. They've been doing it for years. Mainstream media, all they do is divide our country as best as they can. Divide and conquer is the theory.
Well, to go on to that, ask the constituents out there right now. Ask yourself, like I ask myself all the time, if I'm watching, because I watch a lot of different types of news because I want to see what everybody's saying. which usually hurts my ears and I feel like throwing up. So I usually have a pail while I watch these people. And the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, the Democrats, the Socialist Party is doing what they're supposed to be doing for their constituents. They're on TV Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Definitely the whole weekend, all day Sunday on all the talk shows. They're on every one of them. Where's the Republicans? How are the Republicans not there? How, if I was a Republican,
Remaining silent.
if I was to ever get elected under the Independent Constitutional Party, let me tell you something. You would see this ugly mug on every TV channel there was, arguing with every single animal on mainstream media, trying to tell me how bad my country is and how racist and ignorant I am.
Right.
Because when you understand what the Constitution is, you can go at them all day. How is the Republican Party not on every single... I would be like, MSNBC, most liberal, pick me. I'll go on your show. And I'm going to tear you a new ad. You're going to be shitting twice as fast. You're not going to know if you should shit or go blind. You're going to be like, oh my God, this guy was on my TV channel. And your ratings are going to go up, and you're going to ask me to come back again next weekend and bludgeon you again. To get the American word out for the Americans.
So that leads me into media plays on our psychological thoughts. They've been doing it for a long time. Left-leaning news outlets like CNN, The View, manipulate their viewers into thinking that Republican voters are evil people and want to destroy our nation if we take control of Congress, if the Republicans take control of Congress.
Here's the kicker though. Nobody told these people that were doing this, we were in control. For the first 2 years of Trump's president, and you want to know what they did? Nothing. They let everything just keep, no wall, no health care. Paul Ryan was sitting there, hey, listen, you guys like my $3,000 suit? I got a raise because I'm the Speaker of the House now. He did nothing for you Republicans. Nothing. You know what he made you do? He made you lose power because he did nothing. In the midterm, you guys got shellacked.
So the same goes for right-leaning media outlets like Fox and Newsmax. They tell their viewers that the Democratic establishment is wrong and evil and moving this country forward. And if they get in charge, the end of the world is coming.
Well, we don't need no more.
The thing is, if media outlets keep telling their people every day for an extended amount of time, like the past 40 years, people start believing the lies. We start believing what they tell us.
Al Zelensky said that.
They start believing. Just keep doing it over and over again, they'll fall into place. The people are trapped into this misleading stories about the end of the world because of the other party. It's far from the truth. See, we believe the lies and the fabricated stories because we hear it every day. The news today doesn't even tell the truth. They don't even do investigative journalism anymore. It's all taken care of left and right-leaning politicians. No one cares about the true story anymore.
Oh, I made a mistake with the Republicans not helping Trump. Mitch McConnell did help Trump until he had enough numbers to make a lot of money on that book he wrote.
Right.
Then he hated Trump again.
I was just going to say social media should be called socialist media because they're controlled by the government. They're told what to say and what to take off.
Well, basically what we're trying to get here, Mike, is that the media, the United States media right now is probably 80% fascism right now. Mm-hmm. It is saying and doing things that the government's not allowed to and the government's telling them to do it.
Mm-hmm. It comes down to... Oh, go ahead, Sean.
Margaret, right? They believe what is said and become brainwashed because we are lazy to look into anything to find out the truth.
We let our emotions get the best of us, that's why. The only one that get hurt are we the people. As Democrats, we're angry with Republicans. They believe we're racist. Republicans, we think Democrats are crazy and want total open borders and hate America. Both are far from the truth. Republican and Democratic voters want what's best for their families. They don't want open borders. They like their firearms. Democrats like their firearms. Most Democrats don't hate America. And most Republicans are not racist. All we have is a difference of opinions. And that, my friends, is what makes this country amazing. I'm trying to say this. We need to stop listening to media outlets and stop becoming emotionally hypnotized with the crap they tell us. Become your own thinker. Read the Constitution. Read the Federalist Papers. There's so many more books about our country that are good reads. And don't just read books leaning toward one party over the other.
No, read them about America.
Read about America.
There's a lot about America.
Just reading those books gets an emotional hypnotized again. Read books from left and right-leaning authors. You know, compare them, and you'll find that we all have common ground somewhere.
I had a friend of mine. His name was Brian Thorpe. Rest in peace. Brian had passed away. And we started out with just regular subjects, but we would always read books. We had our own little book club, the two of us. But they weren't fictional books. They were always, you know, non-fiction books on different subjects. And we would read 3 apiece. That way there wasn't a tie, and then we would debate them. You know, once you get through the Federalist Papers, the Anti-Federalist Papers, and all these biographies on our founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin is fascinating. John Adams is unbelievable. John Adams literally had a TV show on HBO about him. It was incredible what this man lost his son to alcoholism. His daughter died from breast cancer. Benjamin Franklin's wife had a stroke while he was in France. These people, they couldn't come back to their family and take care of things. They were too busy building this country for us generations. Yep. It is a fascinating story. It is such sacrifice that all of them, from the trenches right up to the top, that did all the writing.
There's no sacrifice anymore.
No, these people won't even work late. Oh, you're going to cancel my August vacation because we got to vote on a $3,000-page bill that nobody knows what's in it?
They don't even know what's in it.
No.
You know, I found a great place to find information. It's called Google Scholar. That's what I like.
Yeah, Google Scholar.
I'm sure you'll be able to find one that you can trust, but I trust Google Scholar. All we ask is to do some research. The more you research, the more knowledge you gain, which is more than you have now. You can be the smartest person in the world, but you always can get more knowledge. Got anything, Jack?
Yeah. You know, you don't even have to look for new information. Stay current on today's events, but that's easy to do. You're living current events. You go to the store, you see empty shelves, you ask yourself why, and then you go find the answer why. You listen to both sides of the story. It's easy. Today's easy. We're living in history right now. Gas is high, shelves are empty, babies can't eat no more. Ukraine's falling apart. We're going to put Switzerland and New Zealand in
Finland.
in Finland in NATO, but we're not going to put Ukraine in. They're fighting for their lives. Iran is allowed on Twitter, but Trump is not allowed on Twitter. North Korea had a meeting with the President of the United States, and the UN never went and followed up the minute the guy left. The minute the guy left, the world forgot that there was a meeting there. China wants to take over Taiwan. What the hell does China need with Taiwan? They built islands and put ships and warplanes bigger than Taiwan. Why? Because they want to push us. And they want to take what's ours. But if you want to understand what this country is about, there is about 100 years worth of reading to go on right now. We pointed out that book that we had here. What was the name of this one?
U.S. Constitution, Its Origins and Developments.
Read that one. I got another one. I'll bring it next week, which we're not going to do it Monday for Memorial Day.
Well,
And we're going to switch our days to Thursdays, so the next show will be June 9th. We'll repeat that again. I have another book that goes from the Mayflower right up to, I think, Obama, when he was president. This information is there. And if you think that these politicians aren't making the history books because there's nothing going on in the world, first off, there's a shit ton going on in the world right now, number one. And number two, there's somebody there writing it down.
The most corrupt, lazy, do-nothing politicians in the history of our country.
I tell you what, if there's a United States 100 years from now, this generation is going to be the darkest cloud over our freedoms. Because like we said in our platform, our founding fathers drew a government that was filled with kings and lords. And now 200 years later, we have the same thing, but they're called senators and representatives. They're tyrants. They're taking your freedoms. They're taking your speech. They're taking your kids' education. They're taking your health care away. They're taking your judicious away. They're taking your food away. So as soon as you understand, if you start understanding what we're saying here and you start looking at these history books, you will understand that the Independent Constitutional Party is not as ridiculous as it sounds right now. It might sound ridiculous because we got two average guys trying to get it off its platform, off the heels.
We'll get there.
But eventually, when organization starts getting here and they teach us and we learn and they take these and they bring us to where it's got to be, and we have candidates that understand the Constitution and can debate like this without looking at papers, because they know whatever their opponent's saying is a lie. And you shouldn't go home and kiss your kids with that filthy mouth, you lying son of a bitch. But I'm going to tell you the truth, and here's how it goes. That's what this country's going to be like because of this party right here, because what we're saying tonight about these two major parties that are doing nothing but ruining your life.
Yep, that's true. I want to talk about two posts.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I went on another rant.
I want to talk about two posts we received on Facebook about our party and people's feelings. This first one came from Harry. He's in Florida. He writes, "What we desperately need is everyday citizens running for local governments, when those and pave the way for higher offices. We cannot be a self-governing nation if the people let politicians run everything."
Well
That's
said.
a great comment, because with our party, like the ICP, we'll be looking for candidates to run on our ballot line within the rules we set up. If they're not 100% on board, we move on to the candidate that will follow our platform and our Constitution.
And I'll guarantee you, a lot of you people that are out there listening to us now, at the beginning, when we're small and we don't have a lot of followers and we're here now doing what we're doing, figuring it out on the fly, I guarantee you, you folks are the first ones to get your local government elections. You're going to start looking at this stuff and realize, you want to know something? The only person I think that could do this job the way I want it is me. And I'm going to go do it.
And you'll step up.
Yep, you will. You want to know why? Because you're a great American. And America's great.
You know, the second one came from Sharon. I don't know where she came from. "If we cannot clean up the Republican Party, what makes a new party think it can stay clean? And it splits the vote, and that is how Democrats win. Didn't you learn from the way Clinton got into office, thanks to Perot getting into the race? What ideas would you have? What ideas would you have to clean up a party that has become so corrupt and are hurting average Americans every day? I don't think we can fix either party.
Yeah.
At this stage of the game, they're done. They're too far gone. That's why we need a new minor party, to make sure we are clean from the start and keep it that way. But please do your research on Bush losing the election. Perot was not even a factor. Even before the election, Bush was losing to an unnamed opponent. Losing to an unnamed opponent.
You want to know why?
Because he rose taxes.
Because he rose taxes. So the Republican Party, instead of understanding why he had to raise taxes then, because he walked into an economy that wasn't as good as it was on paper, he realized, I got to raise taxes. And Clinton walked into an economy that was way better than the press reported, because they wouldn't report it for Bush, and was able to cruise through 8 years of a good economy, plus the help from Newt Gingrich. So there's your short-sightedness as a Republican. If you want to go back in your own history, understand your history. You got Bush unelected because he raised taxes on you for a perfectly good reason. Sometimes it happens. And then you bring it back down again. You know, this trickle-down economics. Any kind of formula plan that goes into government, you can't just leave it there, do it one time and it's over. It's got to be regulated. You got to understand, okay, trickle-down, we accomplished it. Now what's the next thing to bring it back so it's super trickle-down economics? You leave something to go, and where's it going to go? Downhill. So Bush was trying to turn it around. But because you got your feelings hurt, you voted the man out.
Yes, they did. There's a lot more we could say about that, but please do your research.
Sorry.
You'll find out a lot.
I'm taking a lot of Dennis's time today.
Like I said earlier, the statistics on our side in starting the Independent Constitutional Party. We don't have a crystal ball. We can't see into the future. But our future depends on how many people out there actually want change when they tell us they're fed up with politics and they're not just talkers. We're tired of the talkers, like the clowns we have in office. We need patriots. And before you know it, we'll have running candidates on our ballot line under the guidelines of our platform. And if they can't handle that platform or the Constitution we put in place, they're not going to get our ballot line, and we don't support them in the next election. It's that simple. I just want to mention one politician this week. I don't like this guy. His name is Madison Cawthorn. He's a Republican representative out of North Carolina. He's had several scandals over his first 2 years in office. He's only been in office 2 years.
Yeah,
a lot of scandals.
You want to know the first thing he got wrong? He said James Madison signed the Constitution.
Declaration.
Which he must have worked for Barnes & Noble, because they said it in one of their books too that they wrote. I haven't.
Like I said, I'm not a fan of him, but luckily he lost his primary. And to another long-term established Republican, which is, I don't like either, but you think he'd take his loss like a man and move on and maybe try sometime other time, maybe different, There's always something else. Mayor,
Life is good in Washington, D.C., from what I hear.
he now vows dark mega revenge for losing. I have no clue what dark mega is.
No.
And has stated that he will use social media to target Republicans for not having his back during the primary. Now all of a sudden, he wants Republicans exposed, and will make sure we all know about what they're doing. Pretty good guy, huh? I find it very funny.
He's a Republican.
It's okay to hide what they do when you're among the elite. Now you're on the other side of the foot and wants the public to know about the truth about all these politicians. Isn't that ironic?
Just thought with himself.
Yeah. In my opinion, this man should be arrested for withholding information, if he really has any, that could be valuable information to voters. If these politicians are committing crimes, such as insider trading, they also need to be arrested.
Yeah.
We the people need to know about this. This is exactly part of the reason we're starting the ICP. For people such as Madison Cawthorn, Nancy Pelosi, and so many more. We want the games to stop, and we feel we'll be the only party to do that. We're the only ones to accomplish that. So we're just about out of time. So Jack, any last comments?
We're not going to be here next week. Enjoy your Memorial Day. We're going to change our day to the Thursdays because we're two regular guys and we work. And Thursday works better because I don't work.
I get off early.
He gets off early and I don't work Thursday. So we can get here, we can set up stuff a little nice, easier, and maybe I won't rant and rave so much because I'll be in a better mood. Who knows?
Well, hopefully.
Yeah. But don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Don't forget to get back to us. And don't forget to start reading about your country. Understand your country. And as you do, these conversations that we have, and you guys start getting onto the computer and start answering, boy, are they going to be interesting. And we're going to be educating the whole world on why this United States of America is the greatest country in the world. And within hopefully the next 10, 20 years, this will be the greatest generation because we brought in a new political party.
So the last 3 weeks have been amazing for us. I mean, our name is getting out there. We're getting a lot more viewers. They even like our logo. I'm happy about that.
They like your logo?
They like the logo.
Mike.
Mike don't like the logo.
Mike don't like the logo. You see why we're struggling, folks? These are the people we have.
Thanks, Mike. We have a store up. You get shirts, mugs.
I gotta get a mug.
Needs a few things. I'll be working on that.
This mug is terrible. I gotta get a new one.
I'll be working on that the next few weeks. So like I said, we hopefully pick up Florida. We're talking to a guy the last couple of days. So he seems very interested.
I spoke to a guy from Pennsylvania, and he was a very nice man. And he's the one that gave us the idea for minor party and major party. And he was right. You know what? That's the way it should be phrased.
You know, we appreciate everyone listening. Please like and share our video. Please keep it up. We know most people are fed up with politics. Like Jack said, we will be here next week. June 9th is
June
going to be
9th.
our next show at 7 o'clock.
On a Thursday. Margaret will get the word out to you folks.
You know,
Thank you,
enjoy
Margaret.
the holiday. Pay your respects for veterans who lost their lives, paying the ultimate sacrifice
And their
in
family.
defending our country, and pray for their families. Do your search. Do your research. Remember, knowledge is power. Rise up, Patriots. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Good job.